Audio Jungle.
It's another edition of Bystander Southeastern on Flip TV. Michael Adekunle, of course, you know, is my name. Today's edition of Bystanders at Newsstands. Let's check out what we have on the front pages of these two journals, the Daily Independent newspaper and also Business News. What are they dishing out at the newsstand on the issue of protest that is going on everywhere? It is not a news that the presidential candidate of AAC, Sowore, planned a protest for August 5. Okay, let's check out the story. Revolution now. That is what is here. Very catchy one here. Revolution now. Sowore foreigners working to destabilize Nigeria. That is what DSS is saying. Sowore foreigners working to destabilize Nigeria, says DSS, says it won't let that happen. He has crossed red line. It won't let that happen. He has crossed a red line. CDHR mobilizes for today's march, condemns Sowore's arrest. CDHR mobilizes for today's march, condemns Sowore's arrest. Abacha's regime did better than Buhari's. That's what Soyinka is saying. Abacha's regime did better than Buhari's. That's what Soyinka is saying. Presidency, DS Group planning revolution against Buhari presidency. DS Group planning revolution against Muhammadu Buhari. Accuses Wole Soyinka others of blackmail. Accuses Wole Soyinka others of blackmail. Okay, let's move to another story on the front page of Daily Independent newspaper. And what's it saying? Illustrating here. Airline operators kick over flight allocations to Emirates. Airline operators kick over flight allocations to Emirates. Okay, let's move to other stories. 2.2 billion naira already budgeted for Ruga implementation, says presidency. 2.2 billion naira already budgeted for Ruga implementation, says presidency. Nigerian taxi driver shot dead in South Africa. Nigerian taxi driver shot dead in South Africa. Cult clash claims 5 in Anambra. Okay, on top of the newspaper of Daily Independent. Okay, let's check out another story. Reason Nigeria aviation industry is comatose, says MD Finch Glove. National Assembly resolution undermines Edo sovereignty, says Oyegun. Local fares skyrocket as airlines charge 70,000 naira one-way flight. Okay, on to the next journal here, which is the business news. And what is the business news dishing out today? Very vital information here. Soyinka article, others condemn Sowore's arrest. Article, Soyinka, others condemn Sowore's arrest. Presidency faults revolution marchers. Presidency faults revolution marchers. Okay, mixed reactions trail FIRS 8.2 trillion naira revenue targets. Mixed reactions trail FIRS 8.2 trillion naira revenue target. Okay, we'll go beyond this on the front pages of Business News and Daily Independent newspaper. Let's join our reviewers for more analysis. Still on Bystanders at Newsstands. I'll be right back.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
How many Boko Haram persons have been arrested? Understand me? How many kidnappers have been arrested? How many taken to court? How many bandits have been arrested? You have right to protest. They should not go and begin to twist and turn the meaning of revolution. You can have intellectual revolution. You can have a mindset revolution. You can have protest revolution. Understand me? It's only the guilty are afraid. It's simple. Why arresting the guy? Did you see him with any camp? Has he taken arms? If he has taken arms and They saw him bringing what they call it, how will I call them, insurgents or bringing people with arms and ammunition to attack the government or going to Aso Rock to start firing anybody. Then they can arrest him. So why are you arresting him? What did he do? Just because he wants to say that this thing we are experiencing, this harassment, this intimidation is affecting everybody and it's a voice. So why? Does it mean that we cannot say anything? So why are you arresting him?
Now, would you tell me that the president is aware of this?
Eh? Who's DSS? Who's the DSS is under presidency now? What are you talking about? I asked him who that president where. He's aware now. You think they go and do things on their own? They don't do that. They must take order. And the person that was the director of DSS is the person that appointed him the presidency. For you to because it's there that you have right to protest. If the guy has carried arm, go to what they call it, Aso Rock there, to want to topple Buhari or whatever it is. Then you can hold him that his revolution is something that has to do with treason. That's nothing like that. We have right to protest. Go to France, they are protesting. Go to Hong Kong, go to countries, they are protesting. If the government is not if the present government is sensitive to the plight of the people, it's through this way they will listen. They will listen to people.
And do you think the protest can solve the problem?
Yeah, it will solve. It will solve. It will solve. Because the thing has gotten to the root. It has gotten to your fiber. It has gotten to your nerves. And so so these guys are protesting for this. Let us leave it. I can remember when people protested during Jonathan regime. What did happen? He has to do what? Placate them. He had to remove the oil subsidy and so on immediately. And so protest is civil. Protest is a right. Protest is something, is even democratic. So why is Buhari afraid of ordinary Sowore? What is it? Which even myself I can just grab him and deal with him. What is DSS? Why are they insulting themselves? Ordinary Sowore.
Don't you think maybe with the experience the federal government had with the Shiites, that resulted in
Shiite
violence?
is a different thing now. Shiite is a religious organization.
Sure.
Shiite has its own base. The best thing they would have done is...
But they protested also.
No, in the case of Shiite, we know now. You know why they are protesting. They asked for the release of their leaders, which the court said, release this man on bail. Grant him this thing. And said, no, how many times? They have to protest. And so the thing turned bloody. So, you see, let me tell you one thing. Right from 84 or 85 or so, when Buhari came into, all the time he has been, all his administration and whatever it is always synonymous with toughness, hardship, wickedness, intimidation, suppression. And so the thing is repeating itself. Take Buhari out of power now, you see most things will come down. Let me give you a typical example. When he was sick, yeah,
Vice President.
What happened? The whole thing just calmed down. Things were moving seemingly. People were responding to issues, not replying. You know the difference between reply and respond. Understand me? If you reply means command, respond is to that. And so we saw everything when he came back. You can see that the man has terrible things. Didn't he protest? Ask him. He protested now. When he said the blood of the baboons and so on will flow and so, he protested. And so he got power. So you should understand that people protest too.
Since they are not comfortable with the situation of the country.
Yeah, the situation of the constitution is biting. It's biting terribly. So any human being who will come here and tell you that he's enjoying Nigeria, that person is going to check his brain.
It's so funny that in this our democracy, some people thought we are still in a military game because they put on written uniform, just like I am. I can be a civilian and put on this military. But some crazy people who refuse to drop their shirt as a military person and try to convince us they are wolf in sheep clothing. And I think the president should consider the democracy and consider Nigeria as a big nation in Africa. When there's a trouble in Africa, there's a trouble in Nigeria. And once Nigeria is in trouble, what can the other few countries who rely on Nigeria for income and sustenance? It's just like what Professor Chinua Achebe would say, when the center is scattered,
No, do you think
the center will not hold. The protest will still go on no matter what.
is it constitutional?
It's constitutional. It's done in everywhere. It's done in Russia. It's done in everywhere. It's done in Ghana. It's done in Togo. Nigeria will not be a different case. I say it. It's so funny that the Kakema will not look down and listen to his people. Hey, they are pushing him into the storm. He should wake up and listen to the masses. Thanks.
Gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ọwọ́ Ọlọ́run náà gbogbo ẹ̀ wá Ọlọ́run la máa pípé nílùú yìí nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílùú yìí ó lágbára púpọ̀ jù ẹtígẹ̀tì ṣùgbọ́n sì Ọlọ́run tó wà láti náà ló wà ní lẹ́nìí ṣùgbọ́n á bẹ àwọn olórí tálẹ́ náà ni pé kí wọ́n ṣàánú mẹ̀kúnnù ìyà ń jẹ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn nílùú kò síṣẹ́ kò sí kankan ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àìsẹ́ náà ló mú ẹlòmíì kọ̀mẹ́ǹtì lọ sí nǹkan tó yẹ lọ sí nǹkan tí ó yẹ kó lọ ṣe kò bẹ́ẹ̀ ní sìn tábà wò ń sìn wọ́n sọ pé yahoo plus àìsẹ́ lùlù náà ni ṣùgbọ́n tábà tó fojú inú wo ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹlòmíì náà ò fẹsẹ̀ ṣe ṣùgbọ́n à ń rọ àwọn gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì wa wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ látòrí Lagos State kí wọ́n àwọn ẹlòmíì jáde skul wọn ò ríṣẹ́ láti ṣe ẹlòmíì tó bá ti jáde skul tán ní ìsìn nígbà tí ó bá ti ṣẹ́ kò sáà lè lọ jalè ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ń gun mọ́rọ́ ń gun ọ̀kadà ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tá a kan lè sọ ni pé ẹ bá bá àwọn gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì wa Ọlọ́run máa ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ kí wọ́n bá gbọ́ ọgbọ́n dá sí i.
ẹ̀yin náà lè fẹ́ kó fi Sowore sílẹ̀.
Sowore pẹ̀lú ògbóǹtọ̀ Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ọ̀bọ mẹ́ torí mẹ̀kúnnù ló ń jà fún ẹ̀gẹ́ẹ̀tì ṣùgbọ́n orí mẹ̀kúnnù náà ni ó gbé yọ olóòótọ́ náà ló máa lékè pẹ̀lú ògbóǹtọ̀ Ọlọ́run èmi fẹ́ kí wọ́n fi Sowore sílẹ̀ torí ẹni tí máa ti ń sòdodo nílùú yìí pé mẹ́ni sìn àwọn èèyàn láìkí ẹ̀ òdodo sì ló máa ń lékè ẹ̀gẹ́ẹ̀tì òdodo ló máa ń lékè arọ ìjọba kí wọ́n bá fi Sowore sílẹ̀ kí wọ́n torí tọlọ́run wọ́n torí pé ọlá mẹ́kà tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe lọ́dún yìí kí wọ́n jọ abẹ̀bẹ̀ ní àṣàgídí kí wọ́n bá fi sílẹ̀ kí wọ́n jọ kí wọ́n torí tọlọ́run.
The only thing I will say is that may God help this country. So the only situation, the only thing that we need to pray for is God's intervention in this country. So that is the only thing I will say as a youth. And you know what we are passing through outside there every day and night. So I think the country is dumb. So it's only God that can bring it up. So that is a prayer I can put. As a youth, it's only prayer to change the better of the country, so-called Nigerian. So that is what me as a youth will personally say to this.
Now, as a youth, do you think you still have rights in this country?
Yeah, I think we have rights.
You have freedom of expression.
Yes. I think we should. If you really know, you are doing the right thing. You are out there doing the right thing. You should come out and say something. So. For me now, I will always say it's only God, because this country is not today. It has been that we have been facing on it, so some kind of challenges one way or the other.
And you know that the protest is an avenue to express your feelings, express yourself.
Yeah, so it's good. Sometimes I get angry. Anywhere I am, I get angry because I see that this protest, we should be doing it. If the whole state, there's any way we can get in touch with the whole state, and we had an agreement that let all the whole state be doing the protest. I think it will be better. It will be better so that the world power, as in world power, will intervene. We intervene that this country. I think they need something. As in you that is doing that, your people. These are the people you are doing your govern on. So. Since they are complaining and I think you are not doing well, so they will have to come for help, So that is the only thing I can share from them.
It's time for revolution, but it seems the revolution is being obstructed by the DSS. Sowore planned to protest, but at the end of the day, nothing for today.
Yeah, Sowore has been arrested, and you can see the protest, I think, is gathering momentum at Surulere. Yes, he's coming to Ikeja as is. That's what I believe. Because the guy went to, I think, Area F and was trying to obtain a document to indicate, that the protest should be, peaceful. So they said he should sit down. They get him arrested. But let me tell you, revolution on course. What is revolution? You can't achieve revolution with ordinary velvet glove. You understand? You can't achieve revolution that way. Revolution is always bloody. It is a way forward. That is the only way forward. I have this advice to give to Nigerian youths. This is time we should all embark on a task like this. Everybody should take to streets. It shouldn't be only Sowore's. It concerns me and you and I. We are involved in this war. Let me tell you, we should march forward to the streets and let it kick off. Someone else should start it. We should not be just being vocal, verbal, all the time talking about change. The change that is needed is now. On the streets of Lagos, streets of Abuja, Anambra, Port Harcourt, Calabar, everywhere, it should be interwoven before it could be effective. Sowore must be released. That is the fact. Sahara Reporters, it was established in 1999, just 20 years now. Obasanjo was there. He didn't arrest Sowore. Abdul Salam was there. Sowore was not arrested. Yaradua was there. Sowore was not arrested. Jonathan was there. Sowore was not arrested. What about this man, Buhari? Who is he? He has everything about. He's a literary fool. Western education should be, is supposed to elude this man. Look at him holding Sowore on stage. Hostage, sorry. Such hostility should stop. We don't want it. I'm a youth. I'm a Nigerian youth. So I implore every Nigerian youth to be like me. I want to sensitize you, or if we don't talk now, if we don't speak now, this is the only factor that will work within us. We are God. I'm a person that is kind of God factor person. I'm a God factors person. So everybody should be like that. Sowore should not be held hostage. It is hellishly consequential enormity. The outcome of it is an enormity, is a hostility, is wickedness at the highest order. This government is not doing the right time. They are trying to thwart the effort of journalism in Nigeria. They don't want us to speaking out. But I tell you, it is time. It is the right time everybody should come out to fight this war.
They put the protest. They put the protest today. But day before yesterday, DSS went to start 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. in the morning. In midnight, they go and arrest him. Are they not terrorists? When you are talking about killing somebody terrorists, I always say something. This is not my first time. The government should look at themselves, because they are more terrorizing than the people that are hating themselves. Because you cannot tell me that in a country that nothing is moving, and we have people that can speak for us. You cannot tell me that a poor man will come out from farm or from place that is struggling to come and begin to confront the government. But people that are closer to them should fight for us. But when that such person stand up, the government will rise against the person. Are we fighting for it? And all till now, I was listening to a news this morning that are telling us that DSL leader come out and tell us that they are fighting, saying Nigeria is a democratic government. What fully democracy? Democrats that do not value the life of youth. They don't value the life of anybody. All of them, when you talk about the minister that the president has the Buhari bring, all of them 50, 55, 70, 60. What are you telling me? What they don't value the life of the youth. Fuck all of them waiting for that rock. Any play where they do, I don't send them. That's me. See, what the problem that I have in this country is for the youth. I always say that I love Arab youth. I always pray that let God change the brain of those our Nigeria youth, where they use as money and put them Arab youth. Yeah? So that they will mad. If they did not mad, the government will never change. Because this government we have as a Buhari government need a youth that will be, all the youth have to be go mental destabilize. If all of them not get mental, the government will not restructure themselves, because they have not restructured themselves. If they restructure themselves, they'll fight. You cannot tell me that somebody that planning that, okay, let all of us gather. And if you look at it, the people that are applying for that, there's no old man inside all of that youth. Because things that they have in the country, the youth are not like it.
Now, do you think the protest was going to be a peaceful one?
They are not going for a violent protest. It's the DSS that bring it as a revolution. because they know, them they said they know that the government is not good. Understand? They know that the government is not moving. And they are afraid that the revolution government, I said something here before, last week, that they think that feed this government, this revolution, if the revolution come, they will restructure themselves. And now, I was not even aware of the protest, but it's when they arrest the man, like before they arrest the man, the 3 days before they arrest the man, that's when I heard about it that Sowore was planning for revolution protest, but they did not call it revolution protest, they just say mass protest. But it's the DSS that put the revolution because they know that the government is not moving. They have, all of them are aware of it. If you cannot go and meet people that the government is not moving and you tell them, what do you think that they will tell you? They say that the man is coming to disturb the country, disturb the peace of the country that never know peace since the government of Buhari come. Which peace are they fighting? This government, since Buhari government come, Nigeria never know peace. You understand? You cannot tell me that one person want to come and bring peace. Because that Nigeria will seem to know no peace again. That is what they are just disturbing themselves. You understand? But if they arrest Sowore, they should ready to arrest thousands of more youth that are coming up. Because that is why they don't want to put youth in the higher position so that they will not have money to use it to fight against them. The youth, they are wise. Thank God me, I'm not depending on government. I'm not depending on all of them, fucking all of them. God know better for all of them anywhere they day. That is my prayer for them every day. Because they don't want the youth to have something tangible. Because they know that a youth may change his mind to fight against them. Things are not moving. It's not like full adult. All of them are full. They don't know what to talk. The governor of the state, they know what is going on, but they can't say this. They hide it to themselves. They are afraid not to die. That is the problem we have. You understand? So until they start to fight it, if they don't stop it, Nigeria can never move forward. We still have to begin to complain and walk in pain until all the old people will die. See now, it never start. Evolution never start. They come xenophobic. In Ghana, they don't want Nigeria. In South Africa, they don't want Nigeria. Cameroon, they don't want Nigeria. A time will come. I bet everybody in this country, no country will ever accept Nigeria again. All of them will come back to this country and see the kind of government they have.
Thanks so
much.
If we are practicing a true democracy, that is not how it's supposed to be. What the government is doing is not right. For it to have tackled an opposition party, how would the country move forward from there? It's not done. It seems we are uncivilized. We are still young in democracy. We have in US they have an opposition party. There is no way under the roof of the head that you don't have an opposition, but you must be able to reason along with your opposition and carry them along in your government so that there will be peace. We are human beings.
And I don't even think this is a partition thing.
I'm not really sure of exactly what is happening.
Protests for the nation.
Protests for the nation. Well, I wouldn't say
about the current situation of the country.
About the current situation, everybody knows that economically the country is down. But I believe with God. I surely believe that God will intervene because the economic is bad. Unemployment is getting increased every day. Yeah. And we're giving birth to coming generation every day. So the future is not saying, but with God, I believe God will position things on how it's supposed to be.
Okay, now your advice to the federal government, especially the DSS, on the arrest of Sowore?
Well, they should be able to take caution in whatever they are doing because this is an opposition man. So they should be able to take caution. Whatever goes round comes round. Yeah. So if you are there today, you are there today, but tomorrow you may not be there. So they should be conscious of whatever they are doing. So that's the least thing I can say.
Whatever goes around comes around. They should be conscious of whatever they are doing. That's what this young man is telling the federal government. And this is where we'll wrap it up on today's edition of Bystanders at Newsstands on Flip TV. Do join us next time as we bring you another interesting topic from the newsstand, especially Nigerian journals. Michael Adekunle still remains my name. Behind the camera, Latif Adebola. In the studio, Michael Ojo. And also by Michelle Lau, making sure everything go on fine. Till I join on this same channel, keep having a good day. Bye.